All right, let's talk about sampling. Something to know about sampling, there's no one way to chop a sample. There's many ways that you can chop it. So whatever way feels best to you, that is okay. But in this video, I want to show you how I chopped a sample for this beat that I have recently made. I really enjoyed the chops. It has a lot of different chops in it that I find can be very useful for anyone that's in beat making or wants to get into beat making. So sit back and enjoy the video. So where we're gonna start in this tutorial is listening to this beat. So the way I'm gonna do this tutorial, I'm gonna go over the sample chop first, and then I'm gonna go over the drums. With this sample chop, I will not say this was an easy sample chop. This was a total of 4 chops from the same sample to create the music part of this beat. I'm gonna play you the sample by itself, and then I'm gonna go over what I did to it and how I chopped it. So this is the sample. Talk to me, insinuations. Call my name just to mention. Somewhere along the way, All right, so that is the sample. Now, I'm gonna play the first chop, and the way that you're gonna see it, you're gonna see how I did the chops on this view. So I'm not gonna play it live. You're gonna see the playback on my screen of how I chopped this sample. So this is how I chopped the sample. That was the first chop. This is the second chop. So I have 2 sample chops there, and that is just to keep things fresh in the beat. I don't want the same thing rolling over and over. Sometimes that's necessary. In this case, for this beat, I didn't want that. Again, I can't really give you too much of a tutorial on how to chop these samples. I can just kind of give you ideas of what I did, because chopping samples is really a feeling. Like I said earlier, the more you practice, the more you're in tune with chopping samples, the better you get. So I'm just giving you a little bit of inspiration here. We have 2 of our 4 chops. Now let's go over the third chop, right? I wanted more from this sample, and there was a lot more for this sample to accent what I was going for. When you're flipping a sample, you want to make sure you can get everything out of it to fill up space in your beat. You don't want your beat to be thin. So I grabbed some of the kind of like vocal hits in there, and I inserted them in kind of the blank spaces in the sample chop. So I'll play you what the inserts are, and then I'll play it together. All right, so that might sound a little bit weird by itself, but if you play it together with a section, this is what you get. Next part, right, we have another section here. I want it to be different, right? I'm trying to fill up space. I'm trying to keep things fresh in the beat. So here's the second one with like the accents. Doesn't seem like a lot, because it's not a lot. But when you play it together, this is what you get. This might not be the most popular thing, but I started with like a hi-hat percussion loop. But what I personally do with these, I don't let these loops just be on their own. I'll have this loop and then I'll put my own drums over it because, again, I want to fill space. I want you to feel and hear the music, and I want things to move a little bit different. So I started with the percussion loop and then I added my own drums on top. So I'm going to play the percussion loop and then I'm going to play the drums that I put on top. That was just hi-hats and a snare. I'm going to show you the hi-hats, the open hats, and the snare that I put over it so you can hear the difference between the two. That is our groove. You can see that I added my own instruments on top. So now we have to add in our kick and we add in our bass, and then that is our drums. If there's one important thing about beat making, make sure that your drums bounce. To finish off this beat, I did have, a little drum break in there, but that's not really important. So that's pretty much the beat. And I'm going to go ahead and play it for y'all so you can hear the beat in its entirety. That is the beat. I hope this video was useful to you in some type of way, whether it was teaching you something new or kind of scratch that itch on like how beats are made. Comment below what you would want to see on this YouTube channel. I'm not going to lie. I have a life. I have a kid. I own a business and I make beats on the side. So there might be a drought sometimes, but I'm going to try and bring y'all consistent content. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Keep on creating what you like.